John and I have pulled into this KOA in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and we got a great spot here with a great view. This is just for the short rigs. Anyway, it was about $36 a night. I was really surprised for power and water.
This was our chance to do laundry, to fill up our tanks, both the freshwater and fuel, before we headed off for Guadalupe Mountains National Park.
So I'm making a cheesecake, but we probably won't be able to eat it tonight because it won't be chilled. And we don't have any way to chill it because the refrigerator's full. So we're gonna put it outside in the ice chest because it's supposed to get down to 34 tonight, so that should chill it. So I'm gonna start with my graham cracker crust, 3 tablespoons of butter with graham cracker crumbs and some pecans that I threw in there. I've got about a 3/4 cup of cottage cheese that I beat up really well with this immersion blender, make it creamy. I'm gonna add 2 eggs and 8 ounces of cream cheese and a ½ cup of sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla, which I sometimes forget. And then we'll put it in here and cook it for 30 minutes. We'll have it for breakfast probably. People want to know, people want a condensation report. So, a little bit. There's a little bit. There's more on John's side. We're gonna check the cheesecake, because that's what we're having for breakfast, hopefully. Let's take it inside though. Okay, get in here and close that door. Okay. I wonder if I could, no, I don't think I can get it out by turning it upside down.
Parchment?
I forgot to use parchment. Okay, so.
It's a little bit like Lizzie Borden.
Are we gonna play?
Glad I'm not one of them husbands.
If we had some berries, that would be great, but we don't. Good. Here you go. Famous Guadalupe National Park campsite, which is a parking lot, and there's still lots of open spaces, and we got a spot right over here. And the tent sites are down here, only for tenters though. John has jelly legs from the hike on Monday. famous parking lot at Guadalupe Mountains National Park, and it got down at least to freezing last night. The temperature of the closest place we can find is lower elevation, so it was at least freezing. I'm thinking high 20s. And at 9, no, it must have been almost 11 o'clock, I woke up kind of cold and decided I'd try out the electric blanket. Try it out by plugging it in and see how much power it used. And so I plugged it in, turned on the inverter, and the one thing you have to make sure you do, that you know when you use an electric blanket, is do you have a pure sine wave inverter? It has to be a pure sine wave inverter, which Pleasureway does. I started out at level 5, turned it down to 2, and that was just, it made all the difference in here, and it kept the heat from going on and off. It would have cycled on and off all night, which can be kind of annoying, especially because John's feet hang over right over the vent, and so I always have to get up and move the covers so it doesn't block the heat. And so that was perfect. And I also had to keep turning down the temperature, the furnace temperature, because it would still want to cycle down. So I had to finally set it at 50. Right now it's 52 in here. And so I'm in love with our electric blanket. It was about 20 bucks, maybe 30 bucks at Target. It's a twin size. And the reason you want to get a twin size is because it's only one controller. 2 would draw twice the power. So just keeping the power draw down. And so let me show you what the batteries say after having it on. It's now like 8 o'clock. The sun comes up really late here. And it says 100%. So it didn't use much. It's top speed. It's like, the device itself says it's a 15 amp, but it's really drawing, it cycles on and off. So right now it's 4. The inverter, it uses about 3. So just cycling on and off. It was enough to keep the batteries from being drawn down at much of anything. So highly recommend the electric blanket for staying warm. Oh, and did you turn it off already?
No.
And sweatshirt with a hood. The hood really helps. Now I can't get this thing to turn off. There we go. Making coffee. We're getting a late start on a hike. It's called the Devil's Hall Trail. And we decided against trying to do Guadalupe. It's like an 8-hour hike, and we got a late start, and I think we're going to try to save ourselves for Big Bend. So here we go. Just used the walkie-talkies for the first time. We went up to the end of the trail and I decided to keep going up the wash because I thought I'd read something about there being something up here. So John stayed behind, and now I'm turning around because I didn't see anything. This is definitely a 2 hiking stick trail, especially when you're going around those boulders and coming downhill when you're tired. I fell right on my kneecaps, and that's when you want to take a full inventory of all your gear, because my lens cover came off. Got all the way down to the cars, realized it was gone, came back up. Didn't have to come too far, but it's still annoying. I need to get one of those things that, like a leash. There you go, there's my tip. I woke up with a hankering for some pancakes. I've not had Bisquick pancakes in forever, so I'm going to give these a try again and also try out the new griddle. Now, I seasoned it before we left, followed all their instructions, but I'm sure I'm still going to have a lot of sticking issues, but we'll see. And I'm going to make extra pancakes because they make really good trail food.
Is there any secret to beating the flour and the mixture together? Is it, you want lumps? You want no lumps?
You want lumps. A lot of blueberries. Those are good. Those blueberries make it really good. Doesn't look like we're gonna have any leftovers. Those are really good. The pan, obviously, the more we use it, the more seasoned it will become. So it's a keeper. We're gonna stay here at Guadalupe Mountains one more night. We found that we can get into Davis State Park in Texas. But today is Saturday. It's Saturday night. It's hard to find places on Saturday nights. So we're going to stay here. Probably I'll do a lot of editing, and then we will go up to check out another short hike, because this is recovery day after yesterday. It's been a windy and cold day here in Guadalupe Mountains, and this is our last night. I'm making up, what are these called?
Leftovers.
Leftovers.
Or right-overs.
I'm brain dead from editing all day.
Turnovers.
And it probably seems like a weird recipe. It was extra firm tofu that you crumble up, and then you put in a couple tablespoons of taco mix and some salsa. And then I threw in some cashews and raisins, and then we'll have them with my homegrown avocados and some cheese and put them on burritos. And actually it's actually pretty good, even for a carnivore like John. But tomorrow we are heading off to Davis, some state park in Texas. John's mouthing it and I can't read his lips because just tell me what it is.
Davis Mountain, McDonald Observatory.
Davis Mountain. Hopefully we can go see McDonald Observatory, who knows. Because they had an opening. They had lots of openings. Tomorrow will be Sunday, and they have showers. So of course we need showers. We haven't had showers in a few days. And let's see. And then we have finally got some reservations at Big Bend. You don't want to go to Big Bend you don't want to just pop in on Big Bend on a weekend. At least try to make reservations a week or so in advance. I waited to the last minute, of course, because we didn't know how crowded it would be. So we have 2 nights at one spot, 2 nights at another, and then we're headed toward Austin. But anyway, that's our dinner, and it's been nice here in the parking lot. I mean, yeah, some people run their generators, and they shouldn't past the generator hours. Really nice young woman next to us in a Toyota Tacoma. She's on a road for 5 months, sleeping out of the back of her rig, and it has been cold at night. So, oh my gosh. But she's young. She can handle it. And we'll probably see her again in Big Bend because she's headed that way. So that's it from Guadalupe Mountains, and we will see you in Davis Mountains State Park. We just finished a very long, bumpy road getting to the McDonald Observatory, and now we're going to check that out. Today's Sunday. We were afraid if we went to the campground that Monday would be closed, so we did a Yui. We're back here at McDonald. We're going to go check it out.
Davis Mountain State Park is a great stop if you're traveling between Guadalupe and Big Bend. For $20, you get electric, water, showers, and a great location for exploring the area. We stayed 2 nights and we're glad we did because it gave me a chance to upload a video at their public library. I also recommend you visit the Fort Davis National Historic Site. We ran into subscribers Andy and Kay. Andy shared his story of trying to get a tire repaired on his rad electric bike. Bottom line, carry an extra tube with you and don't use slime.
For breakfast we had beef hash, dry sliced bread and coffee. For dinner, sliced beef, dry bread and coffee. For supper, coffee straight, just dry bread and coffee. The food was very poor. Nearly as much food is wasted as is issued in the Army from the ignorance and inexperience of company cooks.
Fort Davis is definitely worth a visit. And I like to put historic places like this into context of my own family history and knowing the birth years of my grandparents and great-grandparents. In this case, I know my grandfather was born in 1874 and my great-grandfather was born in 1843. And he would have been a contemporary with many of the men that were stationed here. We are parked in front of the Fort Davis Public Library, and you know true love is when your husband goes out and searches down scones. And they're actually good. They're made this morning. So I am just doing some last minute internet stuff until we head to Big Bend, where we're pretty sure we're not going to have cellular service for about 4 or 5 days. The Fort Davis Library really deserves a shout out because they leave their router on at night so that visitors can get on their Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi is pretty good. So if you're in Fort Davis, I highly recommend this place. And the library itself is actually in the old general store. There's a man working up there, huh? It's kind of early. The old general store, which is really interesting. So, you know, come in and check the old library out anyway. So we are gonna go do some laundry and head to Big Bend.
We're going to see the Marfa lights?
No, we're passing on that. We just finished our laundry here in Marfa, where those weird lights are supposed to happen, but we're not sticking around for that. Nice laundromat next to a little coffee place, so you can get coffee, and screaming fast Wi-Fi if you're looking for that. And I was able to download music from Epidemic Sound, so we are good to go, heading to Big Bend.